Hey everyone, it's Jordan from Fish Keeping Made Easy, and today I'm going to give you my care guide on the Banggai Cardinal. So the Banggai Cardinal is found exclusively around the Banggai Islands in Indonesia, with isolated populations found throughout the archipelago. It inhabits a variety of shallow habitats including coral reefs, seagrass beds and open areas of sand and rubble. Unfortunately, the conservation status of the Banggai Cardinal is classed as endangered, with wild populations decreasing. This is due to many factors such as overfishing for the commercial fish keeping hobby. Also, wild populations have been plagued by diseases which have all had drastic effects on their wild numbers. However, thankfully these fish have been bred successfully in captivity, so the majority you see for sale now in your local fish shops will all be captive bred specimens. So what are the water conditions for these fish? As mentioned above, they're pretty hardy, so anything from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius or 72 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Also a salinity level of 1.020 or 1.025, although like all new fish, ensure they're acclimated properly to give them the best possible start in their new environment. In the wild, they're found amongst sea grasses, rocky reefs and corals, so replicating this is what I would recommend. The majority of the time they hang out in the open, but when intimidated or resting, it gives them areas to feel secure. Now, they are classed as nocturnal fish, but I have rarely had mine hiding during the day, but I assume wild caught specimens could display more of this nocturnal behaviour, so would require more of the environment described above to hide from other fish and invertebrates in the tank during daylight hours. So what's the ideal diet for the Banggai Cardinal? Banggai Cardinal have been described as fussy eaters, but again, I believe this is more relevant for the wild caught specimens. I feed mine a mix of small frozen foods such as mysis shrimp, brine shrimp, lobster eggs, fish eggs, red plankton and copepods, also adding some live copepods once every week or so. In terms of pellets and flakes, mines don't seem to touch them, but other people I've spoken with said that they will accept these over time. Next, let's talk about tank mates for the Banggai Cardinal. Now, it is recommended to keep Banggai Cardinal in a minimum of 20 to 30 gallons or around 75 litres, but if keeping more than one, you'd need something a bit bigger. Now, I would recommend keeping one by itself or a pair. If you are buying a pair, I would recommend getting a pair that have already been paired up. We'll discuss breeding later on, but they can be aggressive towards their own kind, so two females or two males or two fish that haven't really been acquainted will likely fight and result in injury. But in general, they are pretty peaceful, so they can go with most other nanofish or fish their size. Things such as clownfish, damsels, gobies and firefish make great tank mates, but a lot of people do keep them with larger fish and larger setups, and they're also reef safe. So finally, let's discuss breeding. So these fish are mouth brooders and are pretty good parents from what I'm led to believe. The males incubate the eggs in their mouths and release quite well developed miniature little fry around 20 days post spawn. Now, the males and females are quite difficult to differentiate between. The first thing to look for is the sort of jawline which the male has, so it kind of looks a little bit like a bulldog. Obviously they have to incubate the eggs and the fry in their mouth, so it is a little bit more distinctive than the female. People say that the male also has a sort of little flag on the really tall dorsal fin at the top, but people say this is normally one of the first things to kind of be nibbled off by the female, so again, it's not the greatest thing to go on. My advice would be to get a male and female that are already paired up, and that way you alleviate all the issues of trying to differentiate between a male and a female, and it means you don't waste your time with two males or two females. Now, a couple of things that help to trigger spawning are good quality foods, so feeding live foods and frozen foods. Also, a little bit of change in water parameters, so things like doing water changes will create a temperature change, and this normally will be one of the triggering spawns for most fish, and Banggai Cardinal aren't any different. So I haven't personally bred Banggai Cardinal myself, so I can't really offer any more advice on the topic. My advice would be, if you really want to breed Banggai Cardinal, give it a bash. It's all just trial and error and you can't really go too wrong. So as always, if you have any more questions, just leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.